Hey guys, Thomas the Jr. here, aka Mustached. I'm here to review the movie Rampage, featuring Dwayne Johnson. So, this is odd. I think, now I'm not 100% sure, I think this is based off of a video game called Rampage, where you pick a big monster and you destroy the city. I think that's the game I am thinking about. I'm not sure when that came out, but I don't know if this is like a video game movie or if it's just a coincidence or what. But anyway, um, as soon as I saw the trailer, I thought, well, this is going to be a big dumb movie, and surely enough, here we go. So it starts off with some text, which I didn't bother to look into. But then we go to this wrecked shuttle where everything's in disarray, and this woman scientist is like trying to go about trying to leave. She realizes that she's forced to get these test subjects, and she's trying to escape, but the pod catches on fire and the glass shatters, thus leading the pod to make it to Earth, but not her. So, The Rock, or as he's known in this movie, Davis, is leading this team of, I guess, students. They never really specify what they are to him. Um, and he's like calling out a fake story about one of the other guys going with him. I believe his name is Connor. Um, so they're going. His little students are going to see the gorillas. Um, we have George, who is this gorilla, the white one we see, and then Pablo, who is like a smaller family member who doesn't play a major role in the movie throughout, but it's just there for whatever reason. Um, so one of the team members is Nelson. He's the nerdy guy. He's like, do stuff and whatever. Anyways, some of the test gas, that's what I'm going to call it, that's what I called it in my notes, uh, lands down in a different location near a wolf. The wolf, gets the gas in the face. So does George at some point. So right after, and so does an alligator. So we see that this little gas has made George significantly bigger. Uh, and they see that things are not looking good. So we move to Chicago, where our evil businessmen are, and our business lady. I forget what their names were. I honestly don't remember. They are so stupid in this movie. But I'll get to that in a moment. So they hire this guy named Burke, to essentially hunt down the wolf and track it back, kill it, do whatever, just get the DNA back. So, we see this random woman, who will eventually get to know as, I believe her name is Kate. Yeah, her name is Kate. Um, she's like the scientist who apparently worked on this without realizing what she was truly being being tricked into. So she leaves to get ready to help out whoever she can. We see that the other locations, like Wyoming or something, and then the other canister's empty with the gator. So the business lady, I believe her name is Claire. I wrote that name down later, so I think that's her name. Claire wants the wolf dead or alive, as I mentioned. And Nelson, the guy who was with Davis at the beginning, he wants to put George down because his growth rate is getting crazy. He's getting more wild. But of course, Davis doesn't want to do that. So Kate, as I mentioned, is the one who did the research. I put that afterwards. But yes, George does break out. He freaks out and he breaks out and he runs off. Davis tries to settle him down, but this helicopter shoots him down. Meanwhile, Burke spots the wolf. The wolf comes out and attacks his team. Burke ends up being the last man remaining. He tries to hunt down the wolf solo, but then gets taken down after the wolf takes down the helicopter by itself. Then he's taken out. Then we meet Russell, who's played by I think his name is like Jeffrey D. Morgan, I think something like that. But he's the guy who plays Negan from The Walking Dead. That's like the most recent thing I can remember the actor from. Anyway, he's like the one who was responsible for getting George knocked out. They apparently named the wolf Ralph for some reason, even though that never comes into play anywhere else in the film. He's just like, we called him Ralph. Whatever. It's like, okay. Anyway, he talks about how Kate got fired after working for the big evil organization like 2 weeks after working there. So, anyways, Claire, being the stupid villain that she is, sets up the signal that will lead the animals, all three of them, to Chicago. And what they do after they set up the signal is just wait. They literally just wait for the animals to come to them instead of, doing what they did in the beginning and hiring someone to stay there for them. Like, they didn't think things through afterwards. So anyways, yeah, the wolf's moving from Dakota or wherever it was, and the alligator's like in Florida now, I guess. And George gets out as well, once again, and he's like throwing some people around. Bullets are having no effect on any of this stuff going on. They try to blow them up as well, that being the military getting into the action as well at this point in the movie. But their effectiveness seems to be absolutely zero. So, anyways, Davis, once George wakes up, sorry, I was reading my notes very carefully. Once George wakes up, he, like, rushes out and pins up a bunch of people on this plane. They're on a plane now. But Davis saves Russell before that can happen, and then they parachute off, and then the plane crashes, and the body's not found, so they assume he's still out and about. The FBI then reaches the evil organization business people, and they're like, and then Claire's like trying to throw Kate under the bus, clearly, at this point in time, which seems to somehow be working. Anyway. So then George and, Davis and Kate have a moment where he talks about how George had poachers hunt him and then kill his mother, and that's his backstory. Pretty trying to build up that bond now. She talks about how she was trying to save her brother with the stuff that she was doing, but she didn't know what they were really doing. So anyways, we move to Illinois, where George is moving now with the wolf. I'm just going to call it the wolf, because they never refer to the wolf as it from its name ever again, so I won't either. So anyways, Davis and Kate want to evacuate Chicago. But the military guy's like, nope. So, Davis knocks out these two guards while they're being escorted via, they're like in cuffs or whatever they were in. But Russell gives them the key. He decides he's going to help them out now. So he tries to work in with the military, make sure things are on the up and up. And then the animals are moving in, taking out more of the military, and then the city finally begins to be warned to start to flee the area. And the wolf and George rampage into the city. Get it? Because that's the name of the movie, and it only took that long for them to get there. Anyways, the wolf gains spikes on his body, and then they finally see the the alligator monster start to approach. Like, he was the least active of the three, and then he finally came in near the end. So they end up like focusing on that being the military, being they focus on the alligator monster. And then a Dave and Buster's is knocked out for product placement, even though I don't even know if that place is. Is Dave and Buster's still a thing? I don't know. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. So, yeah, product placement. Anyway. So anyways, Davis moves on ahead via helicopter. Russell leaves the military area. Then they get to so the monsters are heading toward the business building, and then that's when Claire sees Kate, and they know each other. And Davis is with her, that being Kate. So Claire and her brother, I think it's her brother, but I don't remember his name, the other business guy, aim their guns, and then Claire ends up shooting Davis in the leg. And then George starts to make it up the building and starts to try to destroy the signal that's coming in. So then Davis then proceeds to save Kate. I forget what her situation was, but like she was like left alone for a bit, and then Davis was still alive, so he like saved her somehow. Anyway, George grabs Claire and then eats her because she refused to leave the area, so she got her just desserts at the end of the day. Russell, meanwhile, sees the brother at the bottom floor, tells him to leave, but leave all of the stuff behind, and then as soon as he leaves the building, he gets smashed by the falling debris. So both of the evil businessmen are dead at this point. So Davis, while still at the top of the building with Kate, wants to avalanche down with the helicopter. So yes, the building falls down with the creatures still trying to attack the signal, knock the building over. Davis and Kate survive that somehow. George gets up and is ready to leave. I forgot where I put it in the notes, but at some point, like, Kate gives him the this antivirus, whatever it was called in the movie. But the Wolf and Gator obviously make it out as well, and Kate goes off to see Russell for some reason. So the fight starts, and then the Wolf. We just quickly discover that the Wolf can fly. George is now back on Davis's team after getting that injection. I forget where exactly that happens, but because I completely forgot to write that down. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. At any rate, the Rock gets the monster alligator to pin down the Wolf and then to kill the Wolf. Meanwhile, Russell gets to Kate. Meanwhile, Davis and George team up against the monster gator and try to fight it off. So, they're going through the city. Davis has his explosive. He tries to shoot it, throw them into the gills, thinking it's a weakness, but that doesn't work. George ends up getting, pinned into a pole. Davis, shoots at the gator some more with the helicopter. Shoots a bunch of missiles at it. The gator still lives after all that. Then George stabs the gator in the eye, finally taking it out. But then George falls too, which leaves Davis to think that George is dead. Kate is there, finally reunited with Davis as well. They have a moment where they think he's dead, only to find out that George was pretending to be dead because we saw early in the movie that he's a little bit of a prankster. So he was pranking Davis and then suggested that he have sex with the girl. And that is essentially where the movie ends, but they start to help out people and then the movie ends. And that was Rampage. There's very little Rampage aspect to it. I mean, it takes forever for the monsters to get to their location and then finally start doing what they were meant to be doing. I think the fight was okay enough, as short as it was. I thought the business people were absolutely stupid. Their plan was absolutely dumb. They didn't think things through, and they clearly just got what they deserved because of their stupidity and nothing else. I thought the relationship was, pretty standard for this type of movie. They build it up during the middle aspect of the movie. I think they could have done more a little. I think they could have put that a little bit closer to the beginning, honestly. But that's fine, I guess. As they have something there, so I guess there's that to develop the relationship between Davis and George. So there's that. I thought this movie was okay. I thought the action was pretty neat when it finally started happening. But again, there's not much of the actual Rampage. But it is what it is. I'm gonna give this movie. I think I'm gonna give it a 6 or 5 out of 10, somewhere there. It's okay. So there's that. I thought it did okay. And that's my review of Rampage. So if you enjoyed my review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also make sure to check out that link in the description. It will head you over to my Patreon page, and any donations are greatly appreciated. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye!